Good evening. I am thrilled and honored to join you live from Washington, D.C. for the 17th annual Eleanor Roosevelt Virtual Award Celebration. You know, we usually host our award celebration live and in person here in D.C., but we decided that for another year, we're bringing this very special event to you, no matter where you are. We are joining together this evening from our couches, offices, living rooms, kitchens, or let's face it, wherever we can find some peace and quiet these days. The challenges we've faced over the last 18 plus months have taken an enormous toll on so many. Bosses are still putting profits before those of us who work to create those profits, and all of this alongside political and civil unrest. In spite of that, working people have triumphed. Support for unions is at its highest point in decades. Workers have come together and successfully negotiated over not only wage increases, but have also ensured that they and all of us are safe and protected on the job, especially as this pandemic drags on. Millions of working people put themselves on the line to keep us fed, clothed, provide care, and other essential needs. Without them, it's unlikely any of us could gather tonight and celebrate. Because of them, we are here. Tonight, we are celebrating some truly outstanding leaders and inspirational figures throughout our movement. We will learn about how their contributions are helping lead the way to building a just economy and future that values, respects, and champions working people. Tonight, our honorees will inspire us, inform us, and empower us. They're the reason we do the work we do. In towns like Bessemer, Alabama, we witnessed the courage and strength of thousands as they stood up to the wealthiest man on the planet, inspiring a movement and showing the world what may soon be possible. And all of this led by workers in the Deep South. We are celebrating the legacy of labor leaders who've pushed and agitated our movement to grow and progress in ways almost imaginable just a few short decades ago. Hell, a couple decades ago, me standing here would have been science fiction. Tonight, we'll get to see the power pop culture can have, not just to entertain us or make us laugh, but also empower us to see what's possible when workers come together. The struggles working people face today are great, and I can't lie. It's hard not to feel like we're living on the wrong side of the looking glass. But we are a resilient species who, in the midst of global chaos, are achieving victories that will help us actualize the dream of a democracy and an economy that works for all working people, black, white, and brown alike. So tonight, let's celebrate, let's cheer, let's party our asses off. You know, I can't see you spill your drink on your sweatpants. If we're successful, tomorrow we'll all awaken inspired, rejuvenated, perhaps a little dehydrated, and ready to tackle the work that's ahead. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy our small tribute to those who give us cause to celebrate.
There are over 120 million television screens in homes across the country, and another 260 million screens sitting in our pockets. That's not even counting computers. You need something unique in order to break through. Superstore, premiering on NBC on November 30th, 2015, managed to do just that, debuting to a sizable audience of 7 million viewers. But the show didn't grab our attention with special effects, a huge budget, or superheroes, but with the stories of the people we interact with every day. Retail workers, the real-life heroes who kept our country moving during the pandemic. The show, created by Justin Spitzer and executive produced by lead actress America Ferrara, follows the workers of Cloud9 store number 1217 in St. Louis, Missouri. Cloud9, a billion-dollar corporation, does not offer paid maternity leave, health insurance, paid overtime, or more than one bathroom break per shift to its employees. Sound familiar? In this fictional superstore in the Midwest, episodes resonate with the urgent demands and real struggles of essential workers and organizers today. The show has since become a monument to the labor and lives of the essential workers, who in the face of a pandemic are still humans who laugh, love, and have personal struggles outside of work. Superstore reflected the crucial fact that workers are more than just workers. They are people. Many are parents. Many are still working on their education. Many are undocumented. And all take their struggles, as well as their personality, wit, and sense of humor, with them to the workplace. Their lives do not get put on hold.
And Zephyr is adamant that we follow the CDC recommendation of washing your hands for a full 20 seconds.
20 seconds? That's like literally forever.
It's about the length of 2 happy birthdays, so just sing that and you'll be fine.
Yeah, but whose name do we insert? I have a friend named Ty, and I have a friend named Alexandrina Genevieva. Those are 2 wildly different time frames.
Just say the name Emma.
Oh, God. Is this your way of making us sing happy birthday to Emma because all of our friends ditched her on her birthday this year?
No, that didn't happen. Emma is very popular, and she's dating a very cute boy named Braden. Very cute. I don't mean cute like I think he's hot, because I'm an adult and that would be weird. Whatever, it's just wash your hands, there's a virus.
By putting essential workers on screen and into our hearts, the writers and cast of Superstore have created more than just another workplace comedy. They created a platform where the humanity of essential workers is acknowledged and valued, where we see essential workers for more than just their work, but for their lives. The labor movement knows the struggles of the Superstore characters well. They remind us that we've always been here and give us hope to continue our work to make this country and this economy better for all of us. We know these characters because we are them. Superstore has invited Americans to expect victory for union organizing, to understand leadership as spending less time at work and more with your family, and to laugh at the absurdities of corporate culture. At Jobs with Justice, we know this is what culture change looks like. Superstore demonstrates the power of entertainment and how it can help shape the ongoing efforts to build a better economy and a better world for everyone, working to support themselves and their families. Superstore provided a window into what's often unseen by the millions of people who enter big box stores every day, and it showed retail workers what is possible if they join together. Jobs with Justice is ecstatic to celebrate the Superstore workers, the essential workers on screen and the ones behind the scenes working hard to make this cultural moment visible, and one we can never forget. With gratitude, we present you, the cast and writers of the hit series Superstore, with the 2021 Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award.
We are all deeply honored to receive this award, just as we were incredibly honored to tell the stories of these amazing people who, over the course of the past 2 years, have morphed from retail workers into American heroes. So on behalf of the cast and the crew and the writers, thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Lauren Ash. I played Dina on Superstore. I want to thank you so very much for honoring Superstore with the 2021 Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award. This is very genuinely so meaningful to me. Getting to be a part of Superstore for all 6 years was just the biggest joy in my life. And I am so proud of the work we did on the show, telling the stories that we did, representing the people that we did. But never was I prouder than our final season, season 6, when we got to represent the people that we'd known for 5 seasons, but through a whole new set of challenges, obviously being the pandemic. And we've always on the show tried to reflect what people are experiencing both in the United States as well as around the world. And it would have been so odd not to address what was happening to all of us on the show. And I'm so glad that we got the opportunity to do that, and an opportunity to pay homage to all of the people who work in stores, who risk their lives, risk their health, risk their families' lives and health. At a time that was so scary with so much unknowns, people showing up to work to make sure that all of us could have the supplies and food we needed to survive. That's a pretty beautiful thing. And getting to represent that and, again, pay some homage to it, honor that is a very unique, special opportunity that we were given, which means a lot to me, as does this recognition. So thank you so very much. Truly humbling. I really thank you.
It's not often you see a show like Superstore on the air. Workplace comedies have graced our television screens for decades, but Superstore spoke to the challenges retail workers struggle with each and every day, a point hammered home in Superstore's final season. As we all face the uncertainty and terror of the unfolding pandemic in early 2020, the writers and cast of Superstore saw an important opportunity to help audiences empathize with those on the front lines of the pandemic. As Superstore characters navigated the early days of COVID-19, like toilet paper shortages, possible COVID exposure among its staff, and the uncertainties of what might happen next, Superstore handled a real-life event with a level of empathy that's rarely seen in pop culture today. Superstore speaks to the power pop culture can have at not only entertaining us, but helping us understand some of society's biggest challenges. To the writers and cast of Superstore, thank you. You've kept us laughing over the past several years, helping us make sense of some of the most difficult moments of our generation, and with a smile. You've given us a show that we'll cherish for years to come. You know, Jobs with Justice has had a long history with comedy and pop culture. And no, not just because of my stellar jokes that keep our staff in stitches. We recently lost comedy legend Ed Asner, and a recent conversation with our deputy director, Mackenzie Barris, reminded us that Ed wasn't just funny as hell, because he was. He also played an early role in the formation of Jobs with Justice, serving on our National Workers' Rights Board. From Ed Asner to Superstore and countless others, pop culture plays an integral role in our movement. While we're on the topic of TV shows, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up what's happening with IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. IATSE members are the incredible people who work tirelessly to help bring us the TV shows and movies that we love. As production ramped up after a pandemic-induced shutdown, the crews working on TV shows and movies found themselves working increasingly long hours, and this led to additional health and safety concerns, unlivable wages, especially for those working on shows and films that are only available on streaming services. IATSE members called on television and film production companies, companies generally owned by some of the wealthiest corporations in the world, to negotiate and ensure workers remained safe and were properly compensated for their work. Those basic demands have not yet been met, and as of this week, IATSE members have authorized a strike. We have found so much comfort in our favorite TV shows and movies, especially during these challenging times. Shows and movies that would not be possible without the labor of the workers behind the scenes. We at Jobs with Justice want IATSE members to know that we hear you, we stand with you, and like the Jobs with Justice pledge says, we will be there. Tonight's incredible event would not be possible without our generous sponsors and supporters. I want to take a brief moment to thank you.
The Discount Foundation Legacy Award identifies and honors a workers' rights champion from across the U.S. These are the same individuals who are working class, who are struggling for survival as they're fighting for justice. They themselves are living the challenge of economic injustice.
I was the first recipient of the Legacy Award. After Katrina, all we seen was schools gone, public housing gone. 46% of black people in New Orleans are jobless. To see the city being rebuilt, not by the local people, but by other people. You have to organize people to stand up and fight. As organizers for the New Orleans Workers Center for Racial Justice, we organize with call the structurally unemployed people here. We want those people to have a living wage. Not only do people get living wages, but affordable housing. I got a passion for my people. I love my people, and I understand their struggle.
Premios como estos ayudan muchísimo porque necesitamos la capacidad, necesitamos de desarrollar el liderazgo de miembros de la comunidad. En Vermont somos alrededor de 1.500 a 2.000 trabajadores en un conteo que ayudamos a sostener la industria lechera. Poco a poco logramos establecer la organización que es hoy Justicia Migrante. Yo fui arrestado en marzo del 2017 por agentes de ICE, pasé 11 días encarcelado, entonces todo eso trajo muchos cambios en mi vida personal y en la vida de organizador.
Nos inspira a seguir haciendo algo para que este tipo de cosas no pasen, que nadie debe de pasar por esto.
Nosotros logramos firmar un acuerdo con Ben & Jerry's, un acuerdo legal que asegura los derechos de los trabajadores en los ranchos lecheros. Esto fue un triunfo enorme para la comunidad, poco a poco cambiando la vida de los trabajadores en los ranchos lecheros. Cuando recibimos el reconocimiento por la fundación, fue tremendo, fue emocionante para todos nosotros. Recibir el premio nos ha dado la oportunidad de seguir haciendo este trabajo tan importante.
The Discount Foundation Legacy Award provides a $20,000 individual award.
It did help me in some of the bills that I had, other things that I was able to get through easily.
We're looking far and wide to find those who are really impacting the sector, who are really changing things for the better.
Sé que en cada comunidad puede haber un líder y esos líderes necesitan inspiración, necesitan ser reconocidos por tanto esfuerzo, por el trabajo que hacen y ayudar a crear un cambio, ¿verdad?, en sus comunidades. Todo ese trabajo tan difícil que hacemos, pero lo hacemos muchas veces de corazón y queremos ser reconocidos.
When people come together collectively, they can move anything. It can change things.
If you know somebody who is an unsung hero in the workers' rights movement, go to the neighborhood funders group website and learn more so that you can refer the next unsung hero for the Discount Legacy Award.
Hola a todas y a todos, mi nombre es Cristín Hernández, yo trabajo aquí con el Centro de Trabajadores de Nueva York Central, aquí en el estado de Nueva York, y estamos muy agradecidos todas y todos aquí con los miembros del centro que están reconociendo nuestro trabajo y reconociendo como mi persona con el premio que nos están dando. Una de las cosas muy importantes que quiero mencionar es de que la razón que salió el caso legal que ganamos en la Corte Suprema es porque yo organicé a mis compañeros en una granja lechera donde yo estaba trabajando. Ahí salió la raíz de este caso legal, ¿no? Entonces, gracias a esto podemos poner la demanda en la Corte Suprema en Albany. Entonces, unos años atrás, y la victoria que tuvimos este caso fue en 2019. El momento cuando ganamos esto, me acuerdo muy bien cuando recibimos la noticia, estábamos muy contentos todas y todos. Y gracias a este caso legal, dio la fuerza de una legislación que llevábamos más de 20 años trabajando a nivel del estado. Y ahorita se hizo ley. Se votó en el mismo año en la Asamblea y en el Senado. Ahorita ya es ley. Más conocido ahorita la ley de práctica justa para nosotros los trabajadores agrícolas. Y el mismo año también ganamos la ley Luz Verde, que ahorita todas y todos podemos obtener una licencia sin importar nuestros estatus migratorios. Y Y recientemente pues seguimos organizando, trabajando con la comunidad, tanto trabajadores, aliados, educando a los trabajadores a lo que en general lo que es nuestro derecho básico. Y lo que puedo decir estos últimos meses, lo que hemos ganado es unas 2 leyes muy importantes. Una de ellas es la de New York Héroes, que todas y todos los trabajadores esenciales puedan tener mejores protecciones en el lugar de trabajo. No solamente la enfermedad que estamos viviendo ahorita de la pandemia mundial, sino para proteger a otros trabajadores aquí en el estado de Nueva York. Y también ganamos lo que es la ley de fondo para trabajadores excluidos, como $2 billones. Lo que estamos trabajando ahorita, ayudando a todos los trabajadores para que puedan obtener estos recursos y en general seguimos organizando, educando a los trabajadores aquí en el estado de Nueva York para que puedan ser sindicalizados en el lugar del trabajo y que sus derechos sean respetados en el lugar del trabajo. Gracias a todos.
Hey, all right. How you doing out there? Are we having a good time? If you don't have your favorite beverage in your hand by now, you're wasting time. In fact, I'm gonna talk just long enough for you to get up and grab it from the kitchen. And if a drink isn't in the cards, how about an Oreo instead? Thanks to the incredible Nabisco workers and the BCT GM members who recently went on strike at 5 different Nabisco factories around the country, and won. So tonight we can all enjoy a cookie as we congratulate their incredible victory. I also want to remind you that the silent auction is still open. One lucky star out there is going to get a free classical guitar lesson with yours truly. You know who you are. In a sporadic pandemic purchase, you bought that guitar you've always wanted, but realized too late that social distancing would keep you from taking lessons. Yeah, I'm here to help. This and many other items are up for grabs in the silent auction, so don't miss out. And hey, Brendan, I see you, okay? That jazz collection is mine. Okay, all right. All right, I see the rest of you are back with your drink in hand, okay? Whether it's a cocktail or prune juice, you'll want it handy to toast our next awardee. You know, there are few individuals who can talk about organizing strategy, family history, movement dynamics, and sports all in one sitting. Fewer still who can fall asleep on a nationally broadcasted event and then wake up steady in the conversation. He's been an active participant in our national board and led one of the fastest growing unions in the building and construction trades, all while being one of the first black men to hold national leadership in the union. I'm honored to call this next awardee not only an inspiration, but also a friend. Let's take a look.
At Jobs with Justice, we strive to build a democratic and just economy. Our mission is guided by the idea that working people cannot truly be free until they are the ones determining the future of our democracy and our economy. We work together to ensure the leadership of workers, people of color, and all gender identities are respected on the job and in their communities. Today, we honor a leader whose very life has embodied the progressive values we strive for. That leader is Ken Rigmaden, the recently retired president of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, or IUPAT for short. Ken was born in San Jose, California, and raised in nearby East Palo Alto. The son of a union carpenter, Ken was quickly immersed in California's labor movement and its long storied history. Ken learned more than union politics or the dignity of work through his father. He also learned how to navigate spaces that remained fraught with racism, bigotry, and discrimination. Lessons and memories that would guide Ken for the next 40 years. After Ken graduated from California State University, San Jose, he followed in his father's footsteps, working as a floor covering installer, joining IUPAT Local Union 1288 in 1977. For nearly 2 decades, Ken continued working as a floor covering installer with Local 1288, serving in numerous union leadership roles, and by the 1990s, Ken was instrumental in helping bring 3 separate unions together. After union workers in these 3 separate unions struggled with the chaos and confusion of different pay rates, pensions, and training programs, Ken led the way into merging all 3 locals. Ken's leadership in Northern California served as a catalyst to national leadership, as he eventually became a general representative and eventually an assistant to the general president within IUPAT. In 2002, Ken was elected executive vice president of IUPAT as he continued to serve his fellow sisters and brothers in union. On April 1, 2013, Ken was unanimously elected general president, serving the more than 140,000 members of IUPAT, and became the first black president in IUPAT's 125-plus year history. During his tenure as president, Ken led with a saying, "Anyone that wants to do the work that we do, let's give them an opportunity." With Ken's progressive philosophy guiding the union, IUPAT played a key role in opening the door for the next generation of union members, including women and people of color. As president, Ken oversaw the development of the union's first maternity leave program and brought more immigrants under the protection of union contracts than ever before. After more than 8 years as general president and a lifetime of dedicated service, Ken officially retired in August 2021.
Those who want to separate us through fake narratives on immigration, on criminals, on breaking the law, on anything, want us to separate, want us to be separate. But remember this, brothers and sisters, what we have to do is we have to make sure that we stay together on what we have in common. I want the same things you want. Everybody in this room, in America, wants to be able to work, wants to be able to earn a living and support their family. Don't let those who are in so-called power tell you otherwise.
Tonight, Jobs with Justice honors Ken Rigmaden's legacy and pledges to stand with the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades in their continuing quest for racial and gender justice in the labor movement. We proudly present Ken Rigmaden the 2021 Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award for his work in promoting and embodying diversity in the trades.
I'm Ken Rigmaden, the ex-General President of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. The apprenticeship was really what set me on fire. To be able to get trained, to get the appropriate skills, and to be paid while I was learning. And I never looked back. I just moved right along from being an apprentice to a trustee, to a chairman, to a foreman, to a representative for the organization. All of a sudden being contacted by the International Union to come on staff, and progressing right along to all of a sudden, I'm the general president of the International Union, the first African American building trades president of any union in the building trades. I'm glad I've had the opportunity, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it because I do have the skills, but I just can't help but think back to those who really trained me up and said, they could have done this. My father, as you can imagine, working as a carpenter, he would come home, freshen up, put on a shirt and tie, and said, I'm going to the union meeting. I look at my father and even look at my father-in-law, two men of color who taught me so much. They could have been a general president if only for an opportunity. And that has always been in my mind, on my heart. The real important thing that I love about Job with Justice is there is the awareness there. And I only could wish if 35, 40 years ago, there was a program like that earlier. We'd be so far ahead in a much better position, but we have to take it as it comes. And so that's really a big reason why I appreciate the work that Jay with Jay does. It's all about not just an individual, it's about all of us. Here's what I can say as far as young activists in the movement. My encouragement to you young tigers, you young lions, don't fear making a change. Don't fear if something doesn't work. Continue to push. Remember what you're here for. You're an activist. You want things to happen for the benefit of all. A lot of things can be tried. Some things work, some things don't. But don't give up. Keep pushing it. Continue to push it. That's the best advice I can give to you. You'll learn. You'll make mistakes. We all make mistakes. When something clicks and you have a group that celebrates that, there's nothing better. And as an activist, keep your head up. Ever since I partnered up with Jobs with Justice, the one thing that I've really admired was the way that they could pull us together. Not just building trades, not just other unions that aren't in the building trades, but also groups of people who are doing things that you say, well, this isn't building trades work. Well, none of this is just building trades work. I'm not here for building trades work. I'm here to try to do something to benefit society. I think that's the thing that I really admire about Jobs with Justice is they bring groups together and show how we can work together for the benefit of all. We have more in common than we do in differences, no matter what. And that's not just what we look like or where we come from, but about the work that we're doing. We're doing things to help people to move forward as a society, as a people, not just for any one group, any one person, but for all of us. That's the thing about Jobs with Justice that I admire so much. That is why I'm so honored to get this award, the Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award. I so much appreciate this, and I'll cherish it as long as I'm on the planet. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to this evening's honorees of the Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award. The International Union of Bricklayers and Allied Craftsworkers salutes the work of Ken Rigmaden, retired president of the IUPAT and the Amazon workers of Bessemer, Alabama.
Hi, I'm Denise Boyer, and it's Wednesday night, and I'm live from Omaha, Nebraska. You see, you can support Jobs with Justice from anywhere. Thanks again for your support tonight and in joining in this celebration. It's a celebration of the incredible honorees and the phenomenal work that Jobs with Justice does on a day-to-day basis. All of them are doing the work of Smiley's words, building a just economy, future, and country that values, respects, and champions working people. That is why we're here. Each of us is already given by being here tonight. You've either bid in the silent auction or you're going to bid in the silent auction, but you know what? We're going to have some fun. You may not go to the Super Bowl. You may not get that great vacation that you're bidding on, but you're going to be able to give to the dream and building that future that Smiley laid out so beautifully, as well as have all of the honorees to date. So what we're going to need to do this segment is really simple. You're going to need a phone. That's it. And you're also going to need a big dream. All right. So you're going to have 5 to 7 minutes that we're going to do this. And I'm going to talk at this point in the program. I already know you probably already had a couple of drinks because Smiley's kind of been pushing that. So I hope it makes you more generous. And if it was prune juice, like I said, you can give from anywhere. So it's as simple as texting JWJ to 56651. Grab your phones or by using the camera app to scan the QR code. Both are at the bottom left side of your screen. So if you can't find your phone, maybe it's in the refrigerator or with the Oreos that Smiley's been pushing. So yes, you did guess it. This is the interactive part of tonight's program. The only thing that makes me eligible to do this part tonight is that I have been known to be shameless about shaking down supporters like you. So let's have some fun. Smiley promised that we would be inspired, informed, and empowered. And I know that these amazing honorees make you want to dig deep into your pocket. And they're showing us all what is possible when we join together. So I can see you. I'd like a show of hands for all of you who are out there who want to participate in helping us raise our goal of $15,000 during this segment. There you go. Yes, I do see all of you. Like I said, you only need a big dream in the phone. So I want to give a big shout out to Lori Pelletier, to Sarah Nelson, and others who have already jumped out front using this technology to give what we're going to ask for. So our funding tonight has a very direct impact. And it's as simple as I said, doing the text, sending the text to JWJ at 56651. The QR code is also on your screen as I'm looking at it. It should be on the lower left-hand portion of your screen. So it's your chance to do it. If you have been outbid in the silent auction, I can see that there's Oreo crumbs on your shirt. It was great comfort food, but now's the time to give again. So as I watch there it goes. It's going up again. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to see this a little bit better so that I can call out who those donors are who are giving. Brendan Sloan, thank you. Anonymous, Brendan Sloan's again. Jim Williams, thank you. Sarah Nelson, thank you. Lori Pelletier, thank you. We can do this. If everyone gives together, no matter what you give, it all matters. All right, text J with J to 56651. Here you go. All right, so what are we really funding tonight besides the big dream? I want to talk about it because we only have a couple of minutes to do this. And I know that everybody participating, we're going to get to our $15,000 level. So what we're really funding tonight, I want to talk about this. It's $2,500 in the generous donations I know that we're going to have coming in from individuals at that level are going to give a capacity grant to the Jobs with Justice local affiliate. There's $1,500 that will fund a local action. And I know the painters and Kenny Rigmaden have been involved in many local Jobs with Justice actions. $1,000 sends a local leader to a Jobs with Justice leadership and organizing training. You know, we just don't know who might emerge from the community as the next Bessemer organizer. So $500 provides interpretation for a worker meeting. And think about this. The essential workers that we talked about tonight, many don't speak English. I know here in Nebraska, inside of our packing plants, there are many languages spoken: Spanish, Somali, Sudanese, Karen, numerous Guatemalan dialects. And these are people who need to be protected. They're the most vulnerable in our community, and they're the ones who have kept us going throughout this. $250 documents a worker's story. And thank you for giving $250 at this point in time. We know from Superstore the power of telling a worker's story, the power of storytelling. And we know that workers' stories are what moves people's hearts. So thank you, Superstore, for showing us the power of that. And $50 to $100 amplifies a worker's story or a petition online. So again, I'd like to go back to the thermometer and see where we're at on the thermometer right now. We've raised $8,277, and we've got a ways to go. And here we go. I was just looking to try to read all of the donors' names coming up. I haven't been able to capture all of them at this point, but I want to give each and every one of you a thank you and a shout out for the generous giving that you're doing. So keep it coming. We've got a ways to go. Everyone participating here, We can do this if everyone participates. So we need you to do that. And also for people who are going to be watching YouTube in the future, we really want to do this with you. So give and give and give until it hurts. The highlights that you're supported so far have been incredible in terms of the work that Jobs with Justice is continuing to do on the highlights of the great work with Caring Across Generations as one. Did basically transformational work in changing the care economy as we know it. The Always Essential Partnership. This is the money that is going to go to these ongoing programs, as well as creating the dream that you've talked about and we've talked about tonight, and that you've committed to help with. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Advancing Black Strategies is coming up, the debt-free students. I mean, there's so many wonderful things of creating that future in an economy for workers that are treated with respect. And it's all about making our workers more respected, more vulnerable, and lifting their voices. And thank you for that. So as we wind this down in this particular segment, we're getting very close to our $15,000. There we go. We are so close, and I'm not going to get off because you know what? Don't put your drink down. Grab your phone right now. Grab your phone and do the text. Come on, you can do this. Do a QR scan if you need to do that, because we're going to get to that level. We've got $1,000 left to do. Come on, we can do this. It's $1,000 for God's sake. You know, all the money that you saved on buying drinks tonight. I know you've got sodas in your refrigerator, but come on, help us out. You can do this. Come on. What we need another $500. What's $500 to you? Come on. It's a couple of nights out in DC. I know that for sure because I live there. Now, Omaha, that money might go a little bit further. So I really, really, really want your help. This is it. This is not about me. It's not about everybody on it. It's not just about any single one of us. It's about all of us. And we got there. And I know.
Thank you, Denise. You know, so much of this would not be possible without the help of our donors and sponsors. Your contributions help pay for transportation for our organizers to Morton, Mississippi, to support stranded workers during an ice raid of several poultry plants. Because of you, we can now launch the first class of the Advancing Black Strategies Initiative, fellows and apprentices who will work on Southern campaigns in the coming year. Your contributions allowed us to move hundreds of thousands of dollars to local worker solidarity funds to support those who did not receive federal relief during the pandemic. You know, while we clean up well, Jobs with Justice has always known how to do a lot with a little. Whether you're donating to Jeff Bezos going to space or to one of those campaigns, every bit helps. Before wrapping up with our last honoree, I want to take a moment to recognize and honor the legacy and service of the late Richard Trumka. You know, I can't lie. I didn't always agree with Rich's decisions, but the fact that he stuck to what he thought was right is also what made him such a powerful leader, and I respected him for that. He was also an incredibly warm and approachable human being, which is not exactly common among all labor leaders, and I include myself in that. You know, one of my first interactions with Rich Trumka went like this. I sat down beside him on some steps in the back of a rally where workers were speaking. He put his arm around me like we were old friends, innately knowing that we'd been in the struggle together for many years, despite not having spoken until then. A struggle that our ancestors started and that we continued with feverish purpose. With that same embrace, Rich embraced Jobs with Justice, elevating our role in bringing more people who sought to organize and collectively bargain into the labor movement. Shortly after becoming president of the AFL-CIO, Rich hosted the first meeting of the Excluded Workers Congress for those who sought to organize but were excluded from joining a union. He championed pilot projects that built relationships between the AFL-CIO and immigrant workers, formerly incarcerated black workers, and workers in non-union, low-wage sectors. Rich knew that we could not combat the downward pressure of an economy rigged against working people unless we did it together. He helped workers realize that when we unite, we have power, which is why today unions are more popular than they've been in decades. President Trumka leaves huge shoes to fill, but we are a movement, and as a movement, we are up for the challenge. We are excited to work with President Liz Shuler as we enter into this next phase of struggle to build worker power. While we're on the topic of heroes of our movement, here's a short story about an unsung hero we recently lost. Frances Farenthold, or Sissy, as she was known to so many, passed away on September 26 at the age of 94. She was a legendary Texas political figure, an unceasing champion for working people and racial justice throughout her life. Besides being the mother of a long-time J ally, George Farenthold, of American Income Life, Sissy also stood with Jobs with Justice in one of our earliest fights, supporting cafeteria workers organizing in Nacogdoches, Texas in the late 1980s. Next, we're going to honor an organizing campaign that embodied the spirit and legacy of Richard Trumka and Sissy, a campaign that united the labor movement around what was possible and captured the hearts and minds of people around the country. And this fight in particular has personal meaning to me as someone with deep Southern roots. Despite the disproportionately low union density or the political backwardness of its gerrymandered states, the U.S. South is home to some of the most militant workers of our movement. Whether sanitation workers in Memphis, shipyard workers in Norfolk, auto workers in Mississippi and Tennessee, or the workers we're about to honor next, Southern workers, particularly black workers, have been ready to fight for 21st century frameworks for economic democracy. Frankly, tired of dragging everyone else kicking and screaming to the region to help us. But don't take it from me. Let's hear directly from them.
We have to shift the narrative of the Southern worker. We cannot accept the status quo anymore.
The story of Bamazon's historic campaign begins in 1937. The year a coalition of people came together to birth what would come to be known as RWDSU, the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union. Since then, RWDSU hasn't stopped coming together with working people across the South to fight for better wages, better benefits, and safety. They have always demonstrated through action what dignity can look like at work, and have responded with agility and resilience to the changing landscape of labor and racial justice. Their work in Bessemer has been no different. Despite the fear and isolation spurred by a global public health crisis that disproportionately affected the poorest communities in our world in 2020. That July saw RWDSU take on Amazon, an American internet sales company employing over 1.33 million workers worldwide. Amazon's workforce is almost 50 times the entire population of the small suburb of Bessemer.
As the union trying to take on Amazon in a right-to-work state gives you the perfect image of David and Goliath.
There, as winter soaked into Alabama soil, Amazon warehouse workers waded through grief and rain to organize what will be the first digital retail union in history. Warehouse workers in Bessemer joined RWDSU to campaign for recognition of Bamazon throughout the fall.
We hope with the union we will finally have a level playing field. We hope we will be able to talk to someone at HR without being dismissed. We hope that we will be able to rest more, that there will be change in the facility to make some of the stress off our bodies. We're hoping we get a living wage, not just Amazon's minimum wage, and be able to provide better for our families. We hope that they will start to hear us and see us and treat us like human beings. It's frustrating that all we want is to make Amazon a better place to work. Yet Amazon is acting like they are under attack.
For a moment, it seemed all eyes were on Bessemer.
Union, yes.
União, yes. Estamos apoiando
todos os trabalhadores do Amazon em Alabama.
Amazon.
Amazon is that big fish.
The fight that you are waging is not only going to impact people where you work, it's going to send a message to workers all across this country.
It sort of is a domino effect.
The value for it is not only for you singularly, but for the present, the past,
and the future.
We're going to get a union right here in Bessemer, Alabama. We're coming to say that Black Lives Matter here in Birmingham, Bessemer, Alabama, and the state of Alabama.
Amazon refused to recognize the union or their demands, so only a vote could legitimize their decision to form a union. Workers were supposed to be free to choose.
So let me be really clear. It's not up to me to decide whether anyone should join a union. But let me be even more clear. It's not up to an employer to decide that either. The choice to join a union is up to the workers, full stop.
Everything in Amazon is tracked. Everything is surveilled. So this idea that this massive box that's 20 feet from the front door of Amazon isn't being surveilled is ludicrous. Somebody's lying. So either Amazon is lying or the Postal Service is lying. We tend to believe that Amazon is lying. They've told a lot of lies throughout this process.
Maybe if they spent less time and money trying to stop the union, they would hear what we are saying. And maybe they would create a company that's as good for workers in our community as it is for the shareholders and executives.
Amazon's investment in union busting would go on to steal the free election from the hands of the people that spring. But hope was not lost. Within hours of the vote results being finalized, Bessemer warehouse workers, along with RWDSU, had filed an appeal with the National Labor Relations Board, declaring Amazon's interference in the vote illegal. Victory came, as it often does, in August. August has seen historic moments of black resistance. The Ferguson Uprising, the Watts Rebellion, the March on Washington. This year, it saw the Bessemer appeal approved. For a moment, the current of a new world pulled at our shins. We showed Amazon and showed the world that when we demand democracy, we get it. When we demand respect, we get it. And we will protect the rights of workers to demand both in their workplace. In Bessemer, justice reigned. The worker organizers of RWDSU are a brilliant example of resilience, human dignity, and organizing strategy. And we are proud to have them as part of our movement. RWDSU and BAMazon are leading the labor movement into the future of work. Thank you for organizing towards a just future for all workers. It is an honor and a privilege to present you with the 2021 Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bates, and I'm a worker at the Amazon facility in Bessemer, Alabama. First, I want to thank Jobs with Justice for recognizing the RWDSU, myself, and all the Bessemer, Alabama Amazon workers here with me today. But this award isn't just about us. It represents workers everywhere. When we set out to organize our union at Amazon, we never thought we'd be igniting a movement such as this that's blazing around the country. But after working at Amazon for just a few weeks, we knew we had to come together to fight for change. I can tell you firsthand, working for wealthiest man on this planet isn't what I thought it would be. It isn't what any of us thought it would be. Too many workers go home with injuries. Too many workers leave in wheelchairs and ambulances. And too many have to take a second job to make ends meet. The quotas increase every day and the mile marker moves further and further down the field. It's not sustainable. All of us have come together to build our union at Amazon, and it has inspired so many. But this fight is about so much more. It's about dignity and respect. That's what brought all of us together. It's what's bringing workers across the country together. We're incredibly humbled that our organizing drive has ignited a flame, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. And our fight is just the beginning. It's not just new workplace organizing. It's workers at Nabisco going out on strike last month. It's folks at Kellogg's out on the line right now. It's IUPAT members voting to organize a walk out this week. It's workers everywhere standing up to their bosses and saying enough is enough. You cannot mistreat us anymore. We are here. We are proud, and together we are not afraid to take a stand. And again, thank you.
Well, time just flew by on that. I hope you enjoyed this celebration as much as I did. Yep, the tie has come off, and I'm ready for a nightcap. But before I do that, I want to thank all of our honorees for their incredible contributions. Many thanks to our sponsors, including AFSCME, IUPAT, the National Philanthropic Trust, SEIU, ULICO, American Income Life, the Association of Flight Attendants, CWA, the Teamsters Union, UFCW, the International Union of Bricklayers and Allied Crafts Workers, LIUNA, Siegel, and so many others. Thank you so very much for your support of Jobs with Justice and all of our work. And huge thanks to the team at RJ White that made us look far more professional than we really are. You know, I said to them, make me look like Kerry Washington at the DNC, and they said no. And they were right. And this was much better. Many thanks to Denise Boyer for being the best J with J fundraiser in all of our 30 years, and to everyone on our national boards who supported us in seeing this through. And saving the best for last, I want to thank the national staff at Jobs with Justice who made it look easy. Rachel Coleman, Emily Griffin, David Tagabu, Brendan Sloan, Nick Vucinos, Mackenzie Foy, and Joel Mendelson, just to name a few. You are all amazing. You know, they say crisis breeds creativity, and you've really outdone yourselves this year. For the rest of you out there, I want to thank you for joining us. If you haven't contributed yet, you still can. Being part of the JWJ family is more than a fair return on your investment, and you still have a little time to bid in the silent auction. I'm looking forward to seeing who gets this free guitar lesson. So thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.